Alright guys, we need to talk. Now I'm sure you already know, judging by the title, that this is not a good news Nuzlocke video. At first I was just gonna make a community post about this, but that would be like breaking up with someone over a text, and I personally don't want to give off those kind of vibes. I tried to record a new episode of the Nuzlocke today, and I, for some reason, not for some reason, I know the reason, I just couldn't do it. It wasn't like my software didn't work or my account wasn't working, it was just I legit had no interest in recording it. And I kind of felt this coming for a while now. The Nuzlocke has more boring and tedious parts than fun and interesting parts, which is what makes it hard for me to always have the motivation to even record it. Most of the Nuzlocke is just me in the combat sector trying to level myself and hope that I can get a strong weapon in the process. And then once I reach, that level of 15 where I can fight dreads, well, you can fight dreads before that, but I like to be on an even scale just so the fight is still kind of fair, even though it's not, because my character is not built in any way to fight these enemies solo, which it's not that hard to do, but for some bosses it is a little difficult. Not to mention, one thing that you guys probably don't see and can't really tell from just watching because of all the editing is that these things take forever. The fights take forever, the grinding takes forever. It is hours and hours of me just doing a lot of boring stuff to get to the one part that is kind of interesting, which is fighting bosses. Even those boss fights just take forever, and the simple bosses, it takes a long time to kill them, but not many of the fights are really all that interesting, and they just take forever. Like the Nuzlocke has been for me recording it like 95% boring with 5% of interesting thing happening, which really those moments are just when I'm almost dying or I have died. But today I tried to record, I tried to find some new interesting ways to grind for weapons and level myself. I can't do yellow triggers to level because those give me a lot of XP, so that's effective for leveling, but I don't get any weapon drops in there. And then I tried to do the trigger urgent quests, and then I tried to do a couple of runs of the ordinal tower, but just trying to get a 3-star or a 4-star weapon, doing that over and over and over again, it just, oh man, it really wasn't interesting. It was hard to get through it. And for me personally, it's just really hard to record something that I don't have an interest in actually doing, which is not like a controversial take or something that is like unique to me. I think that goes for almost anyone. If you don't enjoy something, it's hard to do it. And when it comes to making YouTube videos on my channel, I want things I make to be things that I enjoy doing. And the Nuzlocke, it was cool at first and it was new and I was figuring things out, but the more I figured out what the rotation was and what the gameplay loop was going to be for the Nuzlocke, it took all the wind out of the sails. That's why the episodes have been so spread out. It wasn't supposed to be like this. I thought it would be more of a consistent, like a few episodes a week kind of thing, but it just wasn't interesting enough for me to want to record it all the time. And it's not really the fault of the series itself, it's more so just how trying to create gameplay videos with this game is. There are not a lot of video-worthy, interesting things to truly do, and the series was an attempt for me to try to create something that was interesting. And for most of you who watched it, I think it was. I think a lot of you enjoyed it, but at the same time, I want to enjoy what I record, and the recording process was a part that was just, not that fun, not that interesting. And for my channel, I want everything I do to be something I have genuine interest in, because that is what ensures the videos come out good. If I don't have like a natural excitement or interest in something, the energy and the effort I put into the video automatically kind of goes down. And I think that kind of goes for anyone in anything. If you're not interested in something, it makes it hard to give it your all when you do it. And the Nuzlocke has just kind of gotten to that point. And while I definitely hate the idea of canceling a series before it even reaches a real end, I personally just really cannot continue with the Nuzlocke. It's just, and I'm sorry for those of you who, have enjoyed it and have been looking forward to the newest episodes, but it's just gotten to that point with me where I just can't do it. So while I hate to really say this, I am canceling the Nuzlocke series. We went 8 episodes and we never got out of Alio. I don't feel great about that and having that be kind of where it ends. And in the ending, without even me having another attempt at the dread fights, I was only 2 levels away from 15. But I think that kind of also speaks to how bored I was, that I was that close to getting back to dread fights and I still had like no motivation to get there. I've been trying to brainstorm some series ideas to potentially replace the Nuzlocke series with, but to be honest, I might not even really create a new series, so to speak. I don't know if anything in this game can really be interesting enough, long enough to really be considered a series. So committing to something that would probably take, what, 9, 10 plus episodes is something that I don't know if I want to try to do again. I'm probably going to go back to just making whatever I am interested in doing at the time with this game, because that normally tends to work out for me. I know one of the end goals for the Nuzlocke was to fight Gigas at the end in each region, and to be honest, that part I kind of still want to do. It's definitely something I still might do, but just with my main character, this character, and not with the Nuzlocke character, where, you know, those Giga fights, thinking about it now, were definitely, I might have never, ever beaten a Giga with a Nuzlocke character. Because of the fact that the character is not a permanent character, everything I used on that was going to end up being thrown away when the character got deleted. So I was never going to use any like really strong augments on them, because those augments are not even easy to get, and they're like worth something on the personal shop. And Giga fights are hard enough as it is, even with your character being fully powered up. So a Nuzlocke fight against a Giga was just going to be straight up torture. I don't think I was going to enjoy any part of that. Now my main character, you know, he's a strong boy. He's all geared up. He's got his Arga armors, his Aphetus Arga armors, and he's got his Kaisar and all that good stuff. I was never going to have that with a Nuzlocke character. Like, those fights were not going to be good. And I really got that realization when I was trying to do the Pedis Vera urgent quest. Like, I was not doing any damage to him, and I was like, man, this is like the best I can possibly be right now, as far as like not using augments, which are a necessity, and not doing potentials all the way, which is a necessity. My Nuzlocke character was greatly hindered because of the fact that I didn't want to just like waste strong, expensive augments on him for him to be deleted when the Nuzlocke was over. This video probably won't be very long. As a matter of fact, it might be the shortest video I've ever made in my life. But to summarize it, the Nuzlocke was just boring and tedious most of the time, and even the fun parts were very few and far between. Personally, I think there are probably better ideas I can come up with, or better things to do in this game that would be more interesting than what the Nuzlocke really was. And I didn't want to spend hours and hours and days trying to work on something that I didn't really have full interest in. But yeah, the Nuzlocke is canceled. It reaches a very anticlimactic end, but we're still going to fight Gigas, so look out for that.